Hi, I'm Dawn Damari, and you're listening to another episode of A Teaspoon of Healing. Today, I have a guest with me that's returning to the show after a few years, Michelle Pascal. Michelle is a meditation teacher and a singer. Welcome back, Michelle.
Thank you so much, my friend. I am very happy to be with you, to be with all your friends. I know you have a lot of people who love, and I love also your podcast and all what you do. Now, today, when you ask me what we could talk, I would like to talk about the most important. The most important is our brain is running all the time. Our brain is running all the time. I can give you a data.
Sure.
In Health Department of America, 75% of American people are just close the burnout. Just close.
Wow.
And this data was made before COVID.
Really? Before COVID. So it's about 75%.
Before COVID.
Wow.
So today
I would, everybody
is,
I feel a lot of people are experiencing burnout, and, people talk about healthcare. Yes. But I think in every profession and every walk of life, because most of my recent guests I've interviewed, they're talking about burnout too.
Alors, let's talk about that. What is the situation today? So today, since the story of the world, we have never seen the fact that people are so sick mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And we have just closed the burnout. I will say we live a mental apocalypse. It's a mental apocalypse. We have never seen a situation like that. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, etc. Since the beginning of humanity, as we have never seen that suicide became the second common cause of death in America. Suicide, second common cause. So we have never seen a situation like that. On the other side, everyone talk about mental health. Everyone make business with mental health, but we must realize that more people are sick, less the solutions are adapted. Because if the solution were efficient, we will be not in this situation. So with humility, we must accept that our solutions are totally unadapted. Why? Microsoft has measured the duration of attention of a person today. Done. Online. The duration of attention today, it's less than 3 seconds.
Really? Less than 3 seconds.
It is Microsoft, the research.
Wow.
And all the approach that we develop are based to ask a mental effort to the person. When we say, for example, oh, my friend, take a distance with your thought, take a deep breath, the person is unable to focus. Cannot work. When experts say today, oh, you must be the change that you want to see in the world, come on. The person is unable to focus plus 3 seconds. You see, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. When we say, oh, tell your story, etc., no one is able to focus. It's the same if you are in a wheelchair today and I say, oh, my friend, come with me to make a jogging in Central Park. You say, Michelle, I cannot.
I shouldn't laugh, but that exactly makes sense, because if somebody is not able to focus more than 3 seconds, how can they be the change? How can they, restart their life? And these are beautiful things that people say, be the change. They're wonderful things. But if people don't have that capacity, it's like being in a wheelchair and being told to climb a mountain or, like you said, jog in Central Park.
Then it's the same if you say to an expert in wellness, you come to say to me, Michelle, I overthink, what can you do? And I say, oh, Don, let's go in a nail salon to make your nail perfectly. But you laugh. There is no sense, There is no sense. There is no sense. So our solution, our medicine is not adapted. Why? Because our world has totally changed. The problem of the solutions that we use in meditation, in wellness are based to ask an effort to the person, to ask exactly what the person cannot do. So there is no sense. As you know, I come from a monastic life.
Yes.
And I remember 20 years ago when I was in the monastery, I have the clear premonition that overthinking will be the main problem of our time.
Wow. And that
ADHD. It was very clear. And I say we need to adapt wellness. We need to adapt new solutions. So I create, as you know, different approach of meditation with no effort, because the person cannot make any effort. And I work in Los Angeles with CG Pro. CG Pro, this is the top Hollywood 3D directors. They work for Shrek, for Avatar, for Jurassic World. This is the top LA of the 3D immersive engineer. They have adapted my meditation in an immersive experience, with Google Glasses. And we launched that in a few days in our district. And in the same time in Times Square, on the biggest billboard of Times Square. If you follow me, maybe you know, but every morning when I can, I lead the meditation for New York mayor, the mayor of New York.
Really?
And his office. Yes.
Oh.
And his office. The mayor of New York City realized that we need to calm the mind, but on a modern way, that again, we cannot ask to someone unable to focus. It cannot work. I will say when experts will realize that what they say is beautiful in theory, but it cannot work practically. Mm-hmm. And this is why people suffer more and more. So we need to be creative. We need to find new solutions with no effort. So May 16 in LA, in our district, we will launch this revolutionary experience, with headset, and during 4 minutes in immersive, you will meditate with me and the dolphin.
Oh, wow. I love dolphins.
To meditate like a dolphin, this is one of the practices that I created 15 years ago in Himalayas when I was in the monastery, because this is the metaphor like a dolphin to dive into our soul. We dive like a dolphin and we navigate into our soul, in our inner peace. But when you overthink, when you are tired, you are unable to make effort. But just when you put a headset and suddenly, wow, in 1 second, you enter in Harry Potter, you enter in an immersive world, you relax immediately and you feel better.
So this is done with, sorry to interrupt, but this is done with kind of like wearing some goggles or the virtual goggles, and you'll see dolphins. And so how can people access this? Is this through the schools or?
It will be accessible. We are working to develop that for school, for hospital, etc.
Oh, really?
But first for the prisoners.
Okay.
Los Angeles. As you know, I direct the meditation program for the prisoners of Los Angeles.
Yes.
At Amity Foundation since 10 years. Every day, prisoners, they practice to meditate like a dolphin. This is one of the practices that I teach to them every day. Done at Amity Foundation in LA, we have 0 suicide, 0 depression. 100% of the prisoners are so happy. And 92% of the prisoners never go back to jail.
Really?
This is the official data. This is the best result of America. So it's fascinating to see that in the world, there is a place without violence, where everyone is happy, calm, grateful. This is at Amity Foundation with the poorest people of America, with homeless, with prisoners. Just after you, in few minutes, I give a class at Amity Foundation for women incarcerated. I have a group today of 40, 50 women. Of course, you can imagine the level of PTSD.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I give the class to them, Don. You cannot imagine the joy, how they are happy. They say, Michel, we feel free. When we calm our mind, no one can catch us.
Mm-hmm.
We are free. Just after this woman today, I teach for the lifers. Lifers, means guy incarcerated for life.
For life, yeah. So they can't get out. There's no chance.
40 years, 45 years incarcerated.
Gosh, yes.
At the end of every session done, we make a survey. How do you feel? We ask to the person. Done. Every lifers say, I feel calm. I feel happy, grateful, free. How many people in Los Angeles today or in New York or anywhere is able to say that?
Even and people who are free, people who are not, say free, people who are not in prison, they would still not be able to answer that.
Funny what you
in the
say,
affirmative.
because in the same day, I teach for celebrities in Beverly Hills,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 hours after, I am in downtown with the lifers who is incarcerated. I teach sometimes for celebrities, they are more incarcerated than the lifers.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What I want to share in your podcast, it's a good news. It's a hope. It works. I will say, if we save the prisoners of LA, we can save the world. Because in our approach of meditation, there is no exercise. There is no effort. There is no storytelling. There is no panel. There is no tips. No. What we do, we calm the mind of the person. And you must know down at the second you calm the mind, you feel better. Mm-hmm. You feel I work a lot in neuroscience. When we put electrode on the brain, when the person, release, at the second, the is the key. Okay. Because at the second you release, you decrease immediately the cortisol. Mm-hmm. You upgrade immediately the serotonin, the hormone of well-being. Yes. So you become addicted. You become addicted at the peace. You become addicted at the serotonin. And you say, tomorrow, I want a new serotonin. I want more. It's the same if you take drugs or if you take alcohol. Mm-hmm. Every emotion is an addiction. Mm-hmm. Every emotion, exactly, it's a neurochemical addiction. For example, if you have anxiety today, your brain will find any pretext, news or bad news, to feed the addiction of anxiety. It's an addiction. Mm-hmm. If you have peace, the brain will do the same. The brain will find any pretext. You see a bird in the street, you see the sky, you see a cloud, you see the smile of someone, to feed your addiction of the peace, of the joy. Because it's important to know that in the brain, the cognitive process associated to the calmness are interconnected to the joy. So it means the more you calm your mind, the more you are happy. The more you are stressed, the more you are grumpy. Because when you are stressed, you damage the neurotransmitter, you damage the circulation of the oxygen in the brain. This is the reason why you are irritable. we are irritable, we don't feel good because we compress too much the circulation of the oxygen. So that I want to share with you, it's an amazing positive news.
That's really great. That's really great.
It's not a fatality. Overthinking, we suffer from overthinking because when we are in a wheelchair, our solution is to talk about to make a jogging in Central Park.
It's not possible. So I have a question. So if somebody catches themselves overthinking, so what is one thing they can do? Say that they can't talk to you, for example, they can't just get on Zoom with you or have access to some of your programs. So what is something that someone can do if they're overthinking and they're realizing it? How can somebody snap out of it?
Spirituality, it's not a fast food.
True.
Spirituality, it's not, oh baby, let me give you a tip, do this.
Right.
It doesn't work. No. The answer of your question, it's not only me, but it's to have access to something efficient. Alors, I talk to you alone, but I have 25 teachers who work with me every day for many sort of people. I can invite you to come. I invite you to join our webinar.
Yes, I'm going to join.
But I will say to you, and it's very interesting because, Dawn, me, I love what you do. And I love your energy, your kindness. We know each other since many years. Mm-hmm. And I consider you are in California. I mean, yes. You are very modern, I will say, Dawn. Your approach is very modern. You are a sort of pioneer in your podcast. You try to find something different.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I am in California like you, in Los Angeles. I live close to the prisoners. I live just close Skid Row with the homeless. And it's interesting because California is the pioneer for the world. In California, entertainment was created. Steve Jobs, a computer, Netflix, CNN, organic food. I mean, all was created because it's a land like a vortex. Many years ago, I was in meeting with Michael Jackson. I have a private meeting. When Michael was on tour in France, he wanted to meet a spiritual artist, and I was chosen in the casting. So I have this conversation during 1 hour with Michael Jackson about the fact that California is a vortex for the world. Michael said to me, the song We Are the World was created in LA. We record in LA. His music was recorded in Los Angeles, etc. Quincy Jones is still living in LA, etc. So Prince was in LA. Bruce Springsteen was in LA. Stevie Wonder, Michael Beckwith, Deepak Chopra. The list is long. So I will say what we are creating at Amity Foundation. We work every day with 30,000 prisoners. But this is a revolution for the world. We are the pioneer of the world. There is the best result of America. And everyone can be connected with me through a webinar, through my Instagram, through my event. I give a lot of events. And when you go to LA, it will be a blessing to invite you to see a session with the prisoners.
I would love to. I would love to.
Very safe. There is no problem. Yeah, sure. And maybe one day you could become a teacher and to join our team.
That would be
because I think really to finish, nothing is more important than to stop overthinking. You must know, according to the last research in neuroscience, when someone overthink, the person reduce the size of the brain.
Really?
Year after.
So when overthinking actually shrinks the brain, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Now, do you think that having access to, so great that we have so much access on social media, right? We have access to so many people, with people like you, people like a lot of these great teachers, but we also have we have a lot of access to the news. We can know pretty much everything that's going on. Okay. But it's easy to be distracted. And it's easy to, like you said, overthink and focus on things that we really can't control. I don't know if that contributes to it. I do notice if I kind of disconnect a little bit, I feel better mentally sometimes, or limit what I look at and stuff. But I don't know if that's the right answer.
Now, the thing is, the good news is the brain, our brain, is a neuroplasticity. So it means that the brain is changing every millisecond. When we calm the mind, we modify immediately the matière gray and white in the brain, the neurochemical system, the hormone, the blood pressure, the acidity in the stomach. We modify all in 1 second. So like that, again, we become addicted. But for that, to calm the mind, this is not to go on a beach and to try to imitate, hey, take a deep breath, the cliché of a monk. I say that because I come from a monastic life. Mm-hmm. And monks in a monastery, they have no stress.
Right.
They don't know when you live in a monastery, I say all the time, you live in a resort.
Okay.
You have no money problem. So
right.
You don't know what is the life. In a monastery, we talk about a suffering that we never see. We are blind. It's like you live in the hotel of Marlon Brando in Polynesia. You don't see the life.
Right.
So the problem is we don't live in a monastery. We live in the real life. Mm-hmm. You, everyone, we have kids, family, conflict, money, challenge, decision, etc. So, again, to calm the mind, to stop overthinking, this is possible. This is that I teach every day. And we see the result. And it's very important to understand that immediately we feel better. Immediately we have the result because the brain change immediately. So what we do in our program, I will say we reprogram the brain in the stressful situation. I give you an example. One of my teachers, she's specialist for Uber drivers. What does she do? She goes with the Uber driver at the rush hour on the freeway of Los Angeles. And she teach to the Uber driver how to be calm.
Wow.
In the middle of the rush hour.
Wow. that would be, I can't imagine that. Wow.
My sister, after one time, when the Uber driver comes for the second session, his brain has immediately understood. It's fascinating how our brain reacts immediately. So when the Uber driver enters in his car, after 2-3 times, the brain has received the message, I am calm in my car. Suddenly the car before was very stressful in the traffic. After a few minutes, a few sessions, you have re-educated your brain. My car is a place where I love to be. My car is my yoga studio. My car is my sanctuary, my refuge. I am in peace in the middle of the traffic. In our program, we reprogram the brain. I say all time to the prisoners, your time is a spiritual retreat. You need to use your time to calm your mind and to pray for everyone who suffers around the jail. My incarceration time can be a fantastic retreat. And it's amazing when we see that 92% of them never go back to jail because they have learned to calm the mind inside the situation, inside the stressful situation.
And that seems to be the key. And you had mentioned this last time we talked. It's very easy, not about easy, but we think about meditation, like you said, on the beach or in a yoga studio or a little studio sitting on a pillow. But it's important to be able to meditate in the middle of chaos. I think you had a video on your Instagram where you were meditating in JFK Airport, very, very
Yes, in
busy terminal, or in
GFK,
traffic, something like this.
you will be surprised, Don. I give my retreat in New York in Times Square.
Yeah,
In Times
that's very busy place.
Again, what means meditation? What is the etymology of meditation? Most of time in America, we don't know. When we talk about meditation, we see the beautiful girl in a lotus position on the beach.
Right.
It's not meditation. This is blablatation. So blabla. There is no result. You talk for nothing. It's a blabla. No, meditation in Tibetan etymology or in Sanskrit etymology, meditation doesn't mean that. Meditation means I train my mind in my daily life. It's totally different. So this is the reason why blablatation cannot work. I remember when I started to be teacher at Google, I was invited in Mountain View in California at the big place of Google. And Van Ripper, Van was the number 3 of Google. He said, Michel, I have a question for you. He said, let me show you at Google, we have beautiful yoga studio and our employees, they love that. They love to go. But when they go back to their desk, they are stressed again. What can we do? And I said to this person, your question is your answer. Your question is your answer because if you train the brain to be calm in a quiet place, when you go back to the stress, you are stressed again. It's the same, if you go in holidays, and when you go back after holidays, you lose your tan 2 days after.
Right.
We need to calm the mind inside the stress. This is what I teach every day. And when you do that, done, immediately your brain understands because immediately you give a neurochemical signal to your brain. Like that, you reprogram your conflict, become a peaceful moment where you learn to take a distance with someone unkind. Your traffic become a place where you feel good, where you are not affected by the stress. JFK become your yoga studio. I mean, suddenly you rediscover your life. You have re-educated your brain. You have created a new chemical addiction and you are liberated. So this is fascinating when you see that. Fascinating, the results that we can have.
So people can make an association with JFK Airport or like the Uber driver, the rush hour traffic in downtown Los Angeles. They are going to make an association with that, with peace and with
I would say, I will add something important. In neuroscience, there is a lot of research who prove that after 21 days of practice, you have changed significantly your brain after 21 days. When I give a program to someone, most of time with my team, we give a program on 1 month with many sessions, short sessions, just few minutes, but short session every day to train, to reprogram the brain. It's a mental. I will talk more about cognitive re-education. It's a cognitive re-education. After 4 weeks, you don't recognize your brain. You say, oh my gosh, I feel calm in the middle of my chaos. And like that, you slow down the overthinking. Because overthinking damage your brain, damage your life, damage your relation. When we overthink, how can we love? How can we have a relation with someone if we are never present? We can see the person, but we are not present.
Right.
Because our brain is perpetually in activity. How can we love our family, our friends? How can we work? How can we be healthy? How can we be happy if our brain is a factory Our brain, it's not a McDonald's. Our brain, it's a plasticity. We can do what we want. We have this power, each of us. And like that, we create new neurons. I say all the time at Google, when we stop overthinking, we become more intelligent. We are more creative. We become more grateful. We appreciate. Me today with you, Don, I am between many sessions, many things to do.
You seem pretty calm. You seem very calm, and you're present.
I am with you. I appreciate this moment with you. I am very happy to see you again today. It's funny. I was thinking it was an audio Zoom, and when I saw you, I opened my camera and I said, I am happy to see Dawn. She's so cute.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel very happy too. And that's a really good point that you said. You're in between so many sessions and so many meetings. A lot of us have one meeting after another, online or in person. But if we're always thinking about what we have to do next, we're not going to be present in our current meeting.
Every person that we meet is our teacher. Mm-hmm. Every person that we meet, every meeting that we have, it's an opportunity to calm the mind, to appreciate the person. I will say to be more connected to the person, to, of course, if we go deeper, to be reconnected to our soul. I will say we suffer because we have lost our soul fun. We have lost our soul fun. We lose our communication with our soul. And if we go deeper, we suffer because we have lost God. But God loves us.
Yes.
God is all time present inside of us and around us. God loves us. We love God. We are made of God, made a divine energy. Of course, we know that. We cannot see God. We cannot touch God, but we can feel God. We can feel there is something that everyone has his own name. For someone, it's Allah, Moise, Buddha, Mahomet, Jesus, whenever.
Right.
We try to name some things that no one can name, but some things that we can feel. And suddenly, when you are like that, after you have calmed the mind, you appreciate every person that we meet because you see God through the persons that we meet. It's suddenly it can be a few seconds, but in few seconds we can be in eternity. Suddenly, bye-bye. So I am very happy to see you Sunday, 5 p.m.
Yes, for the webinar. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for sending me the link.
We can be connected all the time. If you want to come May 16 in LA, it's a free event. Everyone can come. And I give many concerts again in LA. You are my guest. You are so welcome.
Thank you.
And when you go to LA, it will be a blessing to see you and to invite you at Amity Foundation.
Yeah, I would love to visit the Amity and see the work you do with the prisoners.
I can put you my Instagram for the people who want to have information. As you were saying, how be connected. Michel Meditates on my Instagram. I use Instagram mainly like that. Yes. It's easier. Social media.
So for people that are listening or watching this video, so it's Michel Meditates. So that's Michel Meditates. So people can find you on there. And I will put it in the show notes. So Michel Pascal, and I will put it in the show notes as well. So people can find you because you do a lot of Instagram videos and stories. They're always very, very helpful. And that's where people can get in touch with you too. Correct?
Yeah. Finish 20 books in spirituality and people can find my book. My last book is in English, Meditation for Daily Stress.
Okay. I remember that one.
Last book.
And that one is in English.
But overthinking to finish is not a fatality. Overthinking is the consequence of our unadapted solution. Again, when someone is a disability in a wheelchair, jogging in Central Park will be not the solution.
That's definitely true.
The solution is to help the person how to walk again without effort. No mental effort, zero effort. Just oof. Immediately we feel in peace. Thank you, Dawn.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michel.
Thank you, my sister, for your good energy. So happy to see you Sunday. Join me time in LA. Huh? You are in San Diego?
I am in Laguna Beach, so Orange County. I'm not about an hour away from Los Angeles, very close.
The beach is beautiful, so beautiful.
Yes, it's very beautiful here. Thank you so much. Bless you too, and thank you for being on the podcast. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, my sister. All my love, Dawn.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Dawn.
Thank you. Bye, Michel.
Susan, you remember the time we were in Orange County? We were driving around and we got lost, and we ran into this place called
Avila's El Ranchito.
You remember the place? The place had awesome decor and authentic margaritas.
Did you know that Avila's El Ranchito has been around since 1966? They have 13 locations throughout Orange County. Visit Salvador Avila's location in Lake Forest and Foothill Ranch for great food, ambiance, and specialty margaritas.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Please consult a physician or other health professional before undertaking changes in lifestyle or wellness habits. The author claims no responsibility to any person or entity for any liability, loss, or damage caused or alleged to be caused directly or indirectly as a result of the use, application, or interpretation of the information presented herein.